Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam.
Certain universities like Gujarat universities, which is a state finance aided university, in those type of universities there is a administration, it is according to the statutes and ordinance. As Gujarat University, it is a very oldest university and it established from 1949, when there are certain structural bodies which are working together in the Gujarat University, which may be of Senate, syndicate, which may be called as a executive council, then academic council, then board of studies and different committees. This all jointly work together, and of course, the vice chancellor is academic and administrative head of the whole university. When we go in the structure of any university, the statutes and ordinance, those are constituted as a part of university, and university can be run according to the statutes and ordinance. Statutes may be just like a law which cannot be changed by the university itself, as it is the state aided, state funded university. Ordinance are like rules which can be modified, which can be amended according to the passing it from its apex body, Senate. When any modification in ordinance, normally it initial, if it is academic, it can be passed through the academic council, then executive council, and then goes to the Senate. If we go after completion of this passing of the modification or the amendment in the ordinance from its body like executive council, then it is passed through Senate and then it is implemented. Same way, if we can modify the statutes, statutes can be modified only after passing it through the Senate apex body and then send it to the government, state government, and in the state government it can be only modified. So, any state university can only work according to the statutes and ordinance. Now, we think on which basis the statutes and ordinance are to be framed. If we go in the depth of one of the university, that is our university, that is a Gujarat University, that it can be framed based on the mission and vision. Mission, it is just like how to mold the students. We can say the students to mold in such a way that the society can be get the maximum benefit, the whole world, Vasundhara Kutumbakam. In that direction, it is only possible if we work based on mission. Mission includes also the different teaching learning process, it includes the modernization of syllabus, it includes the certain promotions of the research schemes. While vision, it is a long term vision from perspective of university. Like in a university, there is a social economical responsibility of any person, and that is the prime goal. Second, financial sustainability, financial efficiency is also to be taken, and in current scenario where unemployment is also one of the basic problem, So, the university's vision should also be in such a way that employability of its students and its persons who are interrelated, who are coordinated in the university can be given the opportunity of the employability, and that is of course one of the biggest vision of any university. University can also establish certain center of excellence, like Gujarat University have more than 10 center of excellences. Same way, the vision should be like if the older university in India like Gujarat University, Mumbai University or many more universities. So, those universities may have to broaden their vision in off campus and of course international campuses. So, that might be the vision, and in that directions the whole bodies can to be worked. To run the university, to develop the university and to take the long run for the university, it is only possible if an university have a good governance. And the example of good governance is only happen if we go to SOP, if we follow the standard operating procedure of to run the university. This SOP is nothing but the SOP is totally based on its statutes, its ordinance and its different apex bodies. The different apex bodies of the university, it is Senate, it is the Executive Council, it is the Academic Council, different board of studies, and then it is the different account board of accounts, and then goes to the board of advisory. Governance can be start from its stakeholders. If we take one example of Senate, then Senate it has the stakeholders of every branch, it has the stakeholders of every fraternity, it has the stakeholders from teachers, students, staff and all. It has of course stakeholders from governments also. So, the structure of university, it is in such a way that all stakeholders they can sit together or they can have participation in development of university, because the development of any university, it is just the development of social economy, development of society, of the country, state or the city. So, this is very important part. As far as Executive Council is concerned, as the name indicate, it is the powerful body of university. It is the body which have power to execute, to give certain like affiliation, de-affiliations to the institutes, de-affiliations to the centers, recruitments, finalizations, then it has the efficiency, it has a power to take certain development projects, like if a university is a older university, if a university is a bigger university, certain buildings may be older one, they want to build some new building or they want to renovate their building, then of course the final order should be coming for particular function, it is based on Executive Council. Same way, in the Executive Council, if we go in the structure of it, Vice Chancellor sir is a chairman of Executive Council, Registrar is a secretary of Executive Council and other members, they are 6 from government nominee, 3 from senates who are not a teacher, who are elected from the Senate. Same way, other bodies included 2 from academic councils, then 2 are dean. It means it is a total representations from the whole university and its structure. Executive Council includes 2 professors who are from the affiliated colleges. It includes 2 professors which are from its affiliated, its bhavans, which we say as a departments. It also includes 2 teaching person who are not professor. Same way, if we give another bodies of the university, then you can say it is a student welfare. Student welfare, it is normally the structure of student welfare in the Senate, it is according to the elections. Then certain other parts are like student senate. Those are the representations from the students which may be continuously changed. Student senates, it is every year student senates are changed according to the its statutes and ordinance. University functioning body, this is the university governance. As we say, any body which can be work for a longer duration is only possible if it can have a good governance, and good governance cannot be possible without implementing the statutes and ordinance of a state university. Same way, university officers, it includes university officers, they are of course the vice chancellor, the only academic and administrative head, then chancellors. Chancellor sirs, as it is a state university, chancellor sir is our honorable governor sir of particular state. Then pro vice chancellor sir, then registrar and other university officers. It includes chief account officer, other university administrative officers are estate officer, it includes the deputy registrar, registrar and heads of all departments. As to run a big structure, it is of course difficult to give the powers and to give the responsibilities. Now, who can decide the powers and the responsibility? Then we say powers and responsibilities are given according to the statutes and ordinance. If we say what are the powers of vice chancellor sir, honorable, the power of honorable vice chancellor sir is given according to the statute and ordinance is vice chancellor is only officer who is a chairman of executive council. It means vice chancellor sir can decide the total functioning of the university, but the according to the rules, it means according to the statutes and ordinance. Now, whom will execute it? The execution is according to officers. Executions are given to different our officers, our head of departments, our employees and all the stakeholders. Any thing which is implemented, it cannot be without permission of EC or VC. If you say, if anything which is given, any functioning which is academic or administrative, it is given in particular university, then the functions should be of course in the indications or of course in the noting of honorable vice chancellor sir and to the executive members. Certain are emergency functions like convocations. If you say the in certain state university, there are normally 2 convocations annually. The reason behind it is, one is a routine convocation which would come in after the summer examination, the filling of that, and in January it is done. And another convocation would be in August or September, which is specially managed in certain state university like Gujarat University and others for some courses where examinations are completed, terminal examinations are completed at Diwali or like that. So, this type of, which are routine and which are very important to deliver the degree to the students, those types of functions or some other functions which can be decided by particular vice chancellor sir or particular executive council body, that this function is emergency, this function must be done for conduction of university, and those types of functions can be done by vice chancellor sir, and you can put it only behind that he will write it is only for Jan Saru, it means only for informatives to the executive council. So, vice chancellor sir have a power to conduct the functions which he may decide, which is very much important for the university, for the fraternity, for the society. He will do it and only put it to the executive council as 11/4, which is called as Agyar Char, and the functions should be and must be to be known to executive council as a Jan Saru. Another things are which are very much routine, like maintenance, then to conduct certain courses, to modify the syllabus, to change the syllabus, to change the headships, which are routine functions, to take certain disciplinary actions and to take some rules, to change certain rules. Those can be done as a routine administration. If it is something which is out of a routine, then it must require the apex body permission. So, the routine code of conduct, which we can say it is worked as a routine way, and it can be done by the executing officer. Executing officers are registrar, deputy registrar and all directors and everyone. Same way the financial powers are also distributed. Financial powers may be distributed like that. If the head of departments are there, 10,000 powers are given to them. If we go in further, 25,000 are given to the registrar, then go further up to 50,000 given to the pro vice chancellor sir, and up to 5 lakhs it is given to the vice chancellor sir. Same way, to conduct certain activities which total cost is greater than 5 lakhs, we require to go for e-tendering on N-Procure. If we say if the functions are lower than 5 lakhs, then we go to the 3 quotations, at least 3 quotations, which may be of physical form or which may be of e-form. So, this is according to the powers. When we go next to that certain functions are even though routine, but which require more financial cost, then what to do to them? For that, the routine practice is before completion of that earlier functions, normally head should put their notings that this would completed in the next month or the couple of months. Then what would be the next procedure? And they will take the order from the higher authority, which may be of registrar, pro vice chancellor and vice chancellor. And then the particular departmental head, which is decentralized way, he can do or he can make the tender through N-Procure or he can go through the quotations method. Same way, to give the remunerations to the coordinators of different courses, to give the remunerations to the some non-regular persons, the decision would be taken based on the executive council. We can only put before the executive council and then only do it. Otherwise, Vice Chancellor sir may take it. Let us see some detailed structures of executive council. According to the statute, Vice Chancellor is only chairman. He is a chairman of executive council. Then if we go in that, director of technical educations, director of higher educations, they are then dean, then professors of associated bhavans, then associate professors, then certain associate professors who are in affiliated departments, who are in affiliated colleges, and same way teachers other than principals and principals of affiliated colleges. It means the whole cluster in the executive council, 2 members from academic councils, then other persons from its universities affiliated departments, other persons are from universities center which is affiliated to the university, and other members from state government. Executive council have a power, as I discussed also, executive council have a complete power to be decided, which include recruitments, which includes placements, which includes financial, which includes academic, and which include disciplinary actions. So, this total powers are given to executive council. Executive council chairman, vice chancellors will decide according to the committee meeting. Normally, when and where vice chancellor want to call the executive council, he may call. Once the agenda put before the executive council, the minutes should be formed and the same minutes will be passed in the next executive council, and then it would be put on the website and it is for disclosed to all stakeholder, and then the functions are worked. So, anything which discussed in the executive council would be only done, or it may be retro also. Sometime if it is emergency, sometime it is necessity as according to the Honorable Vice Chancellor sir or the university stakeholder, then they may conclude it based on requirements and they put it as a for Jaan Saru. Same way, certain annual budgets, like if you say annual budgets is mandatory, then all budgetary provisions should be kept before executive council and then it must be passed through the Senate. Throughout the whole year, before 31st March, university will call Senate normally on 31st March or 30 March or 29th March and pass the whole executive council's activity on Senate meeting. Senate is called for its own Senate members. There are around 144 members of the Senate. As we discuss, Senate includes professors, associate professors of affiliated colleges, some persons from nominated by government, some persons from trust, some persons who are professors, associate professors, principals of affiliated colleges, then students, student senate, then welfare board members, then certain teachings and non-teaching staff members, and the whole structure of the Senate would decide to pass the whole complete activity or the budget of the next year, and if any topic to be discussed in the Senate, then they may discussed. Same way, whether to modify any ordinance, and then it would be put on the Senate, and Senate will decide to pass it and send it to the government if it is required. Same way, Executive Council will only not to decide the financial and academics, it will also decide recruitments. If Executive Council want to change, want to add some syllabus, want to add certain departments, then on the recommendation of Academic Council, Executive Council committee will decide to add certain departments. So, the overall vision is based on, or the next vision, it will be based on the whole structure, how Executive Council, Academic Council, Senate, Vice Chancellors or Pro Vice Chancellors and registrars and all officers, they will work together. In short, the statutes say everything should be done, but as all are the stakeholders, the ultimate goal should not be deviate. So, this is the very important part of statutes and ordinance. It is generated in such a way that all will be the part of that team and all together will work, and at the end they will be declared as a socio-economical development of the society. So, the ultimate goal of the university is to be achieved. Academic Council, as we have discussed, Academic Council's decision is purely academic, because the members in the Academic Council are purely academic persons. Academic councils have professors, principals from associated college, affiliated colleges. It includes the principals, professors, associate professors from affiliated centers. It includes professors from departments. It includes BOS chairman, Board of Studies chairman, and it includes all other members according to the statutes. Academic councils, what is the functions of academic councils? The functions of academic council is, it can be modify the syllabus. Academic council have a power to change the syllabus, to modify it, to add it. It have a power to stop the course, it have a power to add the course, it have a power to modify the course. As the new era are coming, like we are discussing one of the example, before many years there is a course of Master of Computer Applications. Now the course remains same, syllabus is continuously changed. Same way, there is a chemistry department. Now the chemistry remains same, but in that certain modified branches are there. So, if we go in 1992, if we discuss about animation, no one know or very few people can know. But now if we say animation, then it is a mandatory. So, in between this 92 or 94 to 2020, there are many years. In between this, if any university run this course, then they of course manage to develop the students. They of course give knowledge to the students and its benefits to the country or to the employability and to of course the society. Same way, in the current scenario, artificial intelligence is one of the thing. So, if the MCA in the same, if we say it is called as a tailor-made courses. So, as many as tailor-made courses can be adopted in academic council, it would definitely help. In the current scenario of COVID, like if any have a chemistry, then chemistry may be modified as a pharmaceutical chemistry, it may be modified as a genetic chemistry, it may be modified as a biochemistry, etc. and life sciences. So, this continuous tailor-made courses is only, continuous tailor-made course is only the fruit of active academic council and active executive council. It cannot be happen without that. And it means, of course, it is only possible through the talented professors. They pass their thought in the council and they allow to pass the course, and this ultimately give the benefited. Same way, if we go in some other way, like in current scenario, now very few students can come in very few courses. It means what I am saying, certain courses where 15 students came, certain courses where 10 students came, and actually those courses are very nice courses. So, to continue to run those courses, again academic council have a biggest decisions to run those courses, like MLT. If some persons they have a knowledge in genetics, then genetic course. Same way, certain commerce side courses like evaluations, GST and all those courses. So, all those short term courses, all those tailor made courses, they are the fruit of active academic council, executive council, vice chancellors and the whole team and the whole university. And who will be benefited by that? The society, the whole university will be benefited according to the academic council's core part is the syllabus. Strengthening the syllabus, strengthening the course, and of course strengthening the course, employability is increased, and employability is ultimately the vision of it. Same way, if we go in some different way, that whether students will learn without fellowship or with fellowship. Now, who will decide it? So, in-house fellowship will be decided based on academic council recommendations. While if we say the fellowship can be given by the government, then again the merits. So, who will decide the merits of the fellowship? Power of academic councils, it basic power, it is related with the course structure. If we say course structure, it is nothing but it is the core part of any course. Course structure required to change continuously. Just take one example of artificial intelligence. If current scenario, if any university have not started this artificial intelligence, then it means they are missing the bus. Same way, if we say in genetic side, if we say tailor-made drugs, we are saying pharmaceuticals related, we are saying genetic based. If we are not conducting such a courses, it means we are missing the bus. Same way on financial side, if we say on financial side there are algorithmic way, there are certain new taxations rules, certain courses which based on the different taxations rules, different financial plannings and all those. So, these are the new era where continuously academic councils will think over that, because academic council is a cluster of learned professors, teachers and all. If we go in the other functions of academic council, then we say fellowship. Fellowship is nothing but it is the promotion to the qualified students. It is nothing but take advantage to the meritorious students without doing any bias with the non-meritorious students. So, how to conduct it? It is the only thinking in the part of academic council. If we say academic council function will directly touch the students, then nothing wrong in that. So, as strong as academic council, as strong as the syllabus, as strong as executive council, as strong as the facilities, etc. So, the overall ranking of any university, it reflects how your academic council work, how your executive council work, how your senate work, how the chairman of the executive council, how the executing officers, registrars, deputy registrars and directors of all departments work and run the university. Same way, academic council can also put certain actions against indisciplinary work, because if we want to grow, of course, we have to regulate the entropy, and if we wish to regulate the entropy, AC and EC will must work on regulate the entropy. Now, the question arises is how the modification in this syllabus come to the academic council. Then you say the question and the answer is Board of Study and BUTR, Board of University Teaching and Research. These are the two wings which are associated with academic council, BUTR and BOS. BUTR will initially give the idea about the syllabus, and BOS will give the overall course structure. So, once we put this would be given to the AC, then EC and then Senate. Suppose if the term is continue and we want to conclude it, we want to start the course and we want to conclude the whole operational part, then we have to put it from BOS, BUTR directly through the channel from academic departments to registrar to pro vice chancellor and to vice chancellor for execution, and it would be executed and only put before AC and EC as a Jan Saru. Functions of BUTR and BOS, they are little bit interrelated. As far as BUTR is concerned, Board of University Teaching and Research. If we go in that direction, the Board of University Teaching and Research, it is only based on the research dimensions, research objectives, and also we say coordinations. This only possible if we say something related with the syllabus and research based on the syllabi. If we say the research, then research can be split in the two ways. One is the research at the time of education, and second is the research at the time of post doctorate or the post PG. So, the BUTR and the BOS can design the syllabus according to the syllabus is only according to the post research during the study and the post study, and this would be approved in the BOS. BOS will put it in the academic council and then it would be in the executive council. Executive council will then conclude it. As far as Board of Study is concerned, Board of Study will decide the syllabus change, and the syllabus change, syllabus modified, better we say it is the modification. Modification is the need of the time, modification is the need of the society, and modification is the need of any syllabus, any course. If we want modify, then any course or the any syllabus is a history. So, to continue it, to go in that modification, the proper system or the proper way is to be developed. This proper way is nothing but it is BOS, Academic Council, Executive Council and Senate. If we go through this channel, if professors, teachers, students give their suggestions or give their any modifications, proposed modifications to BOS, BOS will think over there, and because the BOS is for particular subject, it means Board of Study have experts of that subject, BOS of Gujarati, BOS of Sociology, BOS of Computer Science, BOS of Pharmaceutical Science, BOS of Chemistry, like that. So, that modification can be done. There are certain powers of BOS. If we say power, then we say that the change in any BOS, it can be done by the Vice Chancellor, sir. And this formation of BOS is very crucial. This formation of BOS includes experts, invited members and the members. So, the BOS is in such a way that all the dignities of particular subjects are there. If all the dignities sit together and discuss on the syllabus, discuss on the course, then of course, all the new ideas regarding new eras and the challenges will be counteract. And this counteraction is only possible in such a structure. Because the BOS chairman is also the member of academic council, it is easy to change the course, it is easy to pass any change in the syllabus. This is the power as well as responsibility of BOS also, and a good BOS will of course create a great course and good students. Same way, if we say to exercise certain powers given according to the statutes to the BOS, those powers are to naming the course, whether to include the subject or to exclude it, like if you want to revise the syllabus, because this revision of syllabus is a continuous process in any university, and as it is a continuous process, the work of BOS is also a continuous, and work of BOS is only according to the statute. If any modification, of course, the same thing would be passed through AC, EC and then of course Senate. University board, like we say, we are discussing all about the education, development of education, infrastructure for the education, but development does not mean only education. Development mean it is our own power to develop ourselves, to develop the society and to make a healthy environment. It is only possible if our students are healthy, if they have keen interest in sports, if they have a keen interest in cultures, and then it would be only possible. For that, certain university boards are also prepared, like hostels. Hostels are mandatory requirement of any university. Hostels can give the facility at minimum rates to the students. It cannot only give the facility, but it can create the environment to live together, to educate together and to work in a team. In current scenario, when there is a micro level families, at that time the responsibilities of hostels are very much. In that scenario, according to the statutes, university hostel boards, university management boards, same way welfare boards are very much required. Board for welfare members, they are doing the work for natural way in the welfare of the students, and welfare of the students, it means if you are doing the welfare, it means you are growing the society. Welfare is nothing but welfare of the students mean welfare of the society, and it is only possible by making games, other developments and of course hostel managements. Other authorities, those are constituted according to the statutes. See, the state university cannot run in a random way, it can only run according to the statutes and ordinance. No one have a power to do other than that. Everyone have a power, everyone have a responsibility, and everyone have a vision as well as mission to modify the education system according to the statute and ordinance, and the powers and responsibilities are given according to that. Certain committees, certain committees are formed to do the hassle-free management. Certain committees are like finance committee. If some matters related with the finance, then how another person can solve it. So, for that the experienced person, for that some persons who have a working experience, they can be a part of finance committee. This finance committee is formed by the chairman of executive council, of course vice chancellor sir. Finance committee, any expenditure or anything which is put in the finance committee will be approved first in the finance committee and then it would be goes to the executive council. Reason behind that is executive council does not have a sufficient time to give particular, to discuss, to focus on the particular issue or particular matter or particular development related matter. So, in a decentralized management way, vice chancellor sir or the university management, if wish, then they will form finance committee. Any issue will be kept in the finance committee and then they will be solved. Same way, certain issues are related with the buildings. So, here some persons or the some members who have experience in the buildings or who have already experience in the administration, they may be the part of building committee. So, some small committees should be formed. Same way, certain issues are related with the exams, related with the examiners. So, such a committees are examiners committee, exam committee. In the certain scenario of COVID-19, it is a challenging task. It is not possible to conduct the paper and pen exam. In certain scenario, if any modification is required, because it is the time requirement, then those types of issues can be put in the exam reform committee. Exam reform committee will take some decisions as per the demand of time and as per the requirement of time. Exam reform committees can be done the work according to the necessity. Exam reform committee include deans, professors, executive council members, officers, vice chancellors and pro vice chancellors. This committee will issue certain topics like syllabus, if change in any subjects, if any query by the students, then they will discuss on that. They will discuss on how the exam may be conducted, when the exam may be conducted. They will discuss on what is the duration of examination time, what would be the marks of examinations. They discussed on certain issues related with seating arrangements regarding large number of students in the current scenario. So, this type of challenges like sanitizations in such a scenario, certain issues are paper checking in such a scenario. Sometimes is it feasible to go for an online exam or is it optional to go for an online exam. So, these types of scenarios can be done. Same way, as we discussed that executive council have a power for recruitment and termination both, because those who recruit, they have a power to suspend. In recruitment, the committee for selection in the university teacher, it is to be formed by vice chancellor sir. Once the committee is formed, committee have 2 experts from the same subject. syndicate members, 2 syndicate members, executive council members, pro vice chancellors, vice chancellor, government nominee, representatives from SC, ST, and the decision of that committee would be signed by all the panelists, all the selection committee of university teachers or selection committee of any staff member, and the same cover will be opened either in AC or in AC and EC both, or in only in EC, based on the recruitment which type it is. In that way, the EC executive council will declare the result of that selection committee. It means the approval it is given in the Gujarat University or the state funded university, it is with the executive council, while the selection it is done by a neutral team, it is done by evaluation team, it is done by the selection committee. Certain issues which are related with the consultatives, which required particular experts. In that way, certain committees, those are related with the consultatives committee, where the external experts are required. At that time, this would be happen. In that way, like certain issues are legal issues, where you require a legal approval. Certain issues are technical issues, where you require a technical experts. Certain issues related with the IT based issues, where you require IT experts. So, that type of consultatives committees would be there. If we go in the welfare board, welfare committees, as we discussed earlier, development means not only educational development. Development means overall development. What is the overall development? Overall development means it is educational and extracurricular both, and extracurricular development is only happen by means of welfare committees. So, the welfare committees again it includes welfare board members, chairman of any committee is the vice chancellor, then particular representative and board for welfare officer, and then below that welfare board members. It includes board for welfare candidates. They comes and they will sit together, they have a meeting, board for welfare, and they will decide what are the extracurricular activity throughout the academic year, and then they will put it in the AC and EC for the approval, and then it would be done, then the expenditure would be done. Functions of welfare committees. Welfare committees, it includes board for welfare members, the chairman of the committee is of course the vice chancellor sir, then pro vice chancellor sir, then it includes the officer of welfare. Welfare work, it is based on exactly the functions of development of the student in the extracurricular activity. If we say extracurricular activity, then we can say that it is only possible when we worked on the particular decentralized way in all the direction. It may be of development other than education. It may be of games, it may be of cultural, it may be of different poem writing, or it may be of different story writing. So, the whole welfare of the students can be only happen if we go through the developments. Development of student is the ultimate goal of particular university, and it goes through the welfare committee. this welfare committee will take initiation in the welfare, and it is called as a board for welfare. It include the board for welfare members also. It give the different decentralized way timetable. It include how many workshops to be done, it includes how many cultural events to be done, and it includes the youth for welfare functioning. These committees, which are according to the statutes, committees like finance committee, committees building committee, sometime if there is a purchase, then purchase would be done in a proper way, proper channel, or sometime if the purchase for students or the purchase for the university is to be done in a perfect way, then it would be according to purchase committee. Then sometime, like university is a big structure, it is a structure where stakeholders like professors, principals, managements, university officers, administrative staffs, then students, and of course affiliated colleges, affiliated bhavans, affiliated departments, adjoint departments. So, the whole structure is a big, and when any structure is big, there are chances of the grievances, and grievances can be resolved by the grievance redressal committee. It can be formed according to UGC, AICT or like that. So, the building committee can, as we discussed, it can focus on anything which is renovate, anything which is to be infrastructurally changed like gates, lights or any modifications. Finance committee, if anything which is the issue of finance, it can be put in the finance committee, and from that finance committee it puts to the executive council. Then purchase committee, if anything to be purchased either by grant or by university's own fund, it would be from purchase committee. Then we go to the exam reform committee. If anything change either by the students demand or by the time demand, or there are challenges or there are issues related to the exam, then those issues can be discussed, can be resolved in the exam reform committee, and any redressal, any grievance can be redressed, can be resolved in the grievance redressal committee. Other than that, SC/ST cell is another statutory requirements or statutory body, where some issues related with the SC/ST like scholarships delay or anything, if issues is there, it can be redressed in the SC/ST cell. So, these are all the other committees which can be included in this way.